Want to master service provider networking without spending hundreds or even thousands on labs or training? I'm building a complete JNCIE service provider study resource that's going to be free, open source, and hands-on. Here's what you need to know. Hi everyone, I'm Tim, and welcome to my JNCIE Service Provider Study Series. This is your hub for deep dive technical content as I work through topics like BGP, MPLS, Layer 3, Layer 2 VPNs, and then RSVP traffic engineering, and everything else you need to know for service provider networking. Whether you're preparing for your JNCIE Service Provider exam, or just want to build a killer home lab, I'm publishing detailed notes and videos as I study each topic myself. If this sounds useful, hit the subscribe button. I'll be releasing new technical content regularly. Here's how this works. I'm structuring this series similar to Juniper's official self-study bundle, moving through topics in a logical progression. We start with system configuration, then IGPs, so ISIS, OSPF for service provider cores, then BGP, MPLS, RSVP, and so on. Each blog post and video is topic focused and standalone. You can follow them linearly or jump to whatever you need to study right then and there. Every post and video follows the same structure. I'll try to get straight to the point. I hate watching a recipe video for 10 minutes when all I needed was that last minute. I'll do my best not to do that to you. Second, you get the actual lab topology I'm using with virtual MX routers in GNS3. Everything's on my GitHub. You can clone my exact setup and get started on studying instead of spending your time trying to build out a study lab. Third, each page and topic will have configurations that you can actually use. This is essentially the documentation and study notes that I use not just for lab, but for reference that I use at work. If I need to remember how to configure a layer 2 LTP circuit 6 months from now, I'm going back to these notes. Here's what makes this different from just reading documentation or watching someone configure things. I give you the base start configurations that you can load with Ansible from my GitHub repo. Or if you prefer, you can just copy and paste it manually. Either way, you start with a clean, minimal setup. Then in each post, I have configuration tasks with the solutions hidden in drop-down menus. Now, a couple things I want to address here. I know some of you are thinking, but are certifications even worth it anymore? It's a fair question, especially with automation, DevOps, and AI changing how we do everything. Here's my take. Certifications are still extremely valuable when pursued with purpose, not just to flex a badge on LinkedIn or put on your resume, but more so as a structured way to learn. So not just using dumps to pass the exam. For me personally, this process is about diving deep into protocols that I'm not using every single day, and then growing as an engineer beyond just making it work for that one project at work. This is going into an understanding of why and how it's actually working. The JNCIE Service Provider forces you to understand BGP path selection, MPLS label operations, RSVP traffic constraints, all at a level where you can configure, troubleshoot, and optimize them in a 6-hour lab exam with minimal reference materials and no AI or internet. That kind of deep knowledge doesn't become obsolete just because we have automation tools now. If anything, it's going to become more valuable because you actually understand what you're automating. The other thing I want to address is why Juniper, not Cisco or some other vendor? Look, I started with Cisco. The CCNA was my first certification. I took CCNP courses through a community college in person, and I loved it. And honestly, I think the CCNA is a great starting point for anyone in networking. But after my initial certifications and work with Cisco, I chose Juniper for a few specific reasons. First, I'm really more interested in learning the protocols themselves. Junos is built on IETF and RFC standards. What you learn on Juniper translates directly to any other vendor. The protocol fundamentals are going to work everywhere. It's not vendor-specific protocols. Second, I really like Juniper Open Learning. There's free training and up to 75% off certification vouchers, and this is going all the way up to the professional level exams. So that's huge. The JNCIE, specialist, and professional exams will cost a whopping total of $225 altogether. And then third, Juniper has a lot of consistency, which I really like. Junos is going to be the same whether you're on an MX router, EX or QFX switch, an SRX firewall. It's going to be one operating system, one configuration syntax, and it's just one way of thinking about things. Lastly, I wanted to share the resources that are helping me through this. And then this list is going to be growing, so you might check the blog post for more recent updates. First, we're going to have the Juniper self-study bundle. Honestly, this is basically required. The official lab guide and virtual labs are invaluable. And then we've got the Juniper Open Learning. This is the structured learning pass and where you'll find those certification vouchers I mentioned. Next, we've got CBT Nuggets, specifically Knox Hutchinson's Juniper courses. These do a much better job with theory than I do here. My content is going to be really hands-on focused. His content fills in the conceptual gaps a lot better. And then we're going to have stuff like Juniper Day 1 books. Those are free technical deep dives on specific topics. And then we're going to have community blogs. Big shout out to networkfuntimes.com. Chris's blog is one of the most entertaining Juniper resources out there. And then, of course, there's a couple books, that I'd highly recommend, OSPF and ISIS, and then this MPLS in the SDN era. These are very invaluable books to have. I highly recommend them. In the next video, I'm walking you through my complete lab setup, the GNS3 topology, how I'm using Ansible to manage configurations, and my GitHub workflow. This is the foundation for everything else in the series. After that, we're going to jump into our first technical topic, which is going to be the initial Juno system setup. We're going to be talking about management interfaces, SSH, DNS, NTP, syslog, all that essential stuff you need before you can do anything else. Then we can get into the good stuff. IGPs, BGP, MPLS, VPNs, all of it. If this approach sounds helpful, please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so you don't miss new videos. Drop a comment if you have questions or topics you want me to cover. I'll do my best to fold good suggestions into future labs and videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one where we build out the lab environment.